Group Captain Rajiv Kumar Narang still with us. Group Captain, one Pakistani F-16 shot down. Pakistan admitting 2 of their J-70s have been lost. Explain the significance of what you're hearing.
Rajiv, in addition to, we are seeing the Pakistan's fighter program, fighters operating against India. We also see drones. Drones, let's understand what they have. They have a number of drones with them. Falco from Italy being developed in Camera, CH-3, CH-4 from China, Ukab and Shahpur, they themselves develop it. Bayraktar, Kinsi, they have got it from Turkey. Then they have small drone manufacturers, indigenous small drone manufacturers. In addition, they have a export from China. That's why these small drones are going to create a problem for us. And also,
but the significance of a Pakistan F-16 being shot down and J-2, J-17 being shot down.
See, fighter shooting down by India is certainly a major victory for us, and I think it is going to give us an edge, and it will convey the message to Pakistan the way it needs to be conveyed. Indian Air Force, Pakistanis have always been taking for granted that they have been able to inflict injury on us in the last when they shot down our MiG-21, but now they are realizing that one odd exception does not mean and capability of an Air Force. Indian Air Force with the advanced capabilities have demonstrated their capability to them, and I think they need to, they will soon realize that it is a miscalculation by them to take on Air Force. And as far as India is concerned, I think we need to look at immediate counter-drone solutions.
Sandeep, you want to explain to us Sandeep, last night also Pakistan used drones and missiles to target different parts along the areas along the border. They seem to have used a similar tactic today. India countered that by neutralizing Lahore's air defense system. Just explain to our viewers what all of this really means.
Well, Rajdeep, what India is doing basically is to sending out a message to Pakistan, not directly at the military, but targeting military infrastructure for the first time. They've moved up the escalation ladder, like we were talking about. The fact that they first targeted the infrastructure of terror during Operation Sindoor, the first phase. The second phase that we saw early this morning was targeting Pakistani military infrastructure, missile batteries, which are critical to Pakistan's air defense, which protect their military installations, which protect their air bases, which protect their corps and division headquarters. That was struck for the first time today by India to send out a message that we can penetrate your air defense shields. And what will follow after that, this suppression of enemy air defenses, as it's called, is airstrikes. More air-to-ground strikes using bombs, using cruise missiles, using drones. So this is huge messaging here, Rajiv. The fact that both, India has chosen first to escalate from targeting terror infrastructure, then to move on to military infrastructure, targeting missiles, penetrating the shield, to make it, make other, steps on the ladder inevitable, in a sense, if Pakistan retaliates, as is the case right now, as we are seeing on our screens.
We're getting even more breaking news. There was an IPL match scheduled today in Dharamshala, which had begun about an hour ago. That match has been stopped. There's a blackout there as well. The lights have gone out there in Dharamshala. Shweta Singh joining me at the moment from the newsroom. Shweta, what details do you want to give on what we are seeing around us at the moment? Okay, we're going to try and get back to Shweta in a moment so that she can fill us in with more details that she's getting from the military headquarters that she's in touch with. Gaurav, what information are you picking up?
So, Rajdeep, there's been a massive escalation in and around Jammu and south of Pir Panjal, which is this entire Jammu, Poonch, Rajouri, Krishna Ghati sector, and along the international border, Arispura, Katwa, Samba. These are areas where the situation has intensified. Of course, we are also told that there were some attempts that were made over Rajasthan and Punjab that were thwarted. But this entire belt is now in a state of blackout because one attempt of Pakistanis may have failed. They they may have lost some fighter jets, some rockets and drones. But the fact, Rajdeep, that even in Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh, precautionary measures are being taken. Remember when India struck today at that cricket stadium in Rawalpindi, right next to General Headquarters, the Pakistan Army Headquarters, there was a PSL cricket match that was to happen this evening. And very clearly, minute-to-minute retaliatory strikes. When India says we are not escalating, Pakistan is escalating. Pakistan is now actually widening the arc of their offensive. They've lost fighter jets. They've lost drones. We still are waiting to see the extent of damage that they may or may not have inflicted. A lot of information that's filtering in that needs to be verified right now, Rajdeep.
I want to get a sense from both of you in a moment about those small drones that the Pakistanis have used both yesterday and today. But Shweta Singh joins us at the moment from the newsroom. Shweta, what news do you have for us?
Rajdeep, we are constantly monitoring whatever is happening, and Pakistan is actually using almost the same weaponry, yet cheaper versions of it. They've used kamikaze drones in Poonch area, in Krishna Ghati area, where there is a significant presence of the Indian Army. But these have been destroyed mid-air. But what is also most important, Rajdeep, is that I've got Vikrant also with us on the Dharamshala news. Vikrant, what do you have?
Well, the game's been called off midway.
It has been called off?
It has been called off. Punjab had batted 10 overs. There was this break. So all of a sudden we realized that one tower was switched off, then the second, and then the third. And about 10 minutes ago, Shweta, they've decided to switch off the fourth one as well. And the crowd has been told to leave the stadium and go back home. Incidentally,
it is a difficult situation because there are so many people there, and for them not to panic.
And they would also want to now get the two teams out of Dharamshala as soon as possible. There was another game.
There was an advisory that we don't have a match in Dharamshala, and the organizers wanted to go ahead with it because the teams were already there.
Yes, I think there was this suggestion to play the game in the afternoon today rather than having it day-night. But then they realized that the technicalities were involved, the crew was involved, and they decided that the game was on. But I think the moment, Shweta, Jammu airport was attacked, Jaisalmer airport was attacked, I think they realized that the threat was real. And incidentally, this will now be the last game in Dharamshala. The Sunday game has already been shifted to Ahmedabad, which is not as close to the Pakistan border. Dharamshala, the bird fly distance isn't much. Right. It is very close to the Pathankot Air Base in terms of the distance.
I'm going to stop you for a moment. You've given us the news about the cricket match. We'll come back to that. The idea that the IPL is actually carrying on in these border areas seems a bit bizarre, given all that we've seen that's happened. Maybe the organizers should have anticipated what could happen, but that's for another day. One match has already been shifted out of Dharamshala. We want to tell our viewers these are deferred images. We want to make it very clear that on the channel, what you're now going to see are not images that are live at any stage. These are deferred images. That's important, Gaurav, because we've seen in the past that these are often used. Images are used by the enemy state. But, Gaurav, these kamikaze drones, you and Sandeep can weigh in on that. What are these drones? Why is Pakistan relying on these drones to target Indian installations?
Rajdeep, this is disruptive technology. This is the future of warfare. We've seen this in Armenia-Azerbaijan war, where Armenia had superior tanks, superior armor, but Azerbaijan had the latest drones, and an entire tank would be vulnerable. A small drone could drop an 82mm mortar, and the tank would be completely destroyed. We've seen that in Armenia. We've seen that between Russia and Ukraine. The latest T-90 tanks of the Russians could be destroyed by the make-at-home or rigged drones that the Ukrainian forces were using. I saw them rig them. I saw them use them in action. Again, Israel and Hamas. Israel uses a lot of drones, but what we are using are state-of-the-art drones that Israel has provided, the Herop drones. These are kamikaze drones with an endurance of about 8 to 9 hours. They are loitering munition. They're actually like a weapon and an aircraft or a UAV rolled into one. They can fly up to a couple of thousand kilometers and look at the target, loiter there for 6-7 hours. The moment they spot it, they can destroy it. But now, Rajdeep, our army on ground at the LC is using quadcopters with the mortars to destroy enemy air defenses and their vital assets and points.
What we are getting news is all the drones that were used by the Pakistani army to target Air Force and Army to target Jaisalmer airport, they've been neutralized, they've been shot down. Sandeep, what is the weaponry that's used to shoot down these drones?
Rajit, there's a layered air defense, as the military calls it. It has different weapon systems in different ranges and different calibers, starting from shoulder-fired missiles, which have a range of about 7 kilometers. We have the Igla missile. Then they gradually go up. You have L-70 guns as well, which can, fire. They're fast-firing guns, which fire at targets which are about 3 to 4 kilometers away. They're close-in weapon systems. And then as you climb up the ladder of these missile systems that make up the air defense grid, you go on to Akash missile systems, which have a range of about 40 kilometers. You have the Barak-8, which goes up to beyond 40 kilometers. And then, of course, you have the big brother, the big daddy. You have the S-400 with a complete range of missiles, right. 4 different missiles ranging from 40 kilometers to almost 400 kilometers. So that can take care of a large number of targets. So we're not very clear what was used right now to intercept those drones, but it's possibly a combination of L-70 guns, which are air defense guns, and quick reaction missiles like possibly the Spider missile or indeed the Akash missiles, the indigenous missile, close-in missiles, medium-range missiles about 40 kilometers. And these are usually kept around vital areas, vital positions like air bases, military sites, ammunition depots, and such, as we're seeing right now. These could possibly have all sprung into action to shoot down those drones. But, Rajiv, a quick point that I want to mention, what we are seeing, not only in the last couple of hours, not only have we seen a rapid escalation up the escalation ladder, but we've also seen beyond visual range missiles being used and also drone warfare. So interesting that, as Gaurav mentioned, the contest between these two nuclear armed states has not only climbed up the spiral of escalation, but it's also moved into areas like beyond visual range missiles and, of course, drones, which we have been seeing in the span of less than 24 hours. We have seen both India and Pakistan use long-range precision drones, loitering munitions, kamikaze drones. That clearly tells you how warfare has changed literally in a matter of hours as we speak, Rajdeep.
I'll come back to you, and I'll come to Raj to give us the big picture. But I want to go to the ground, because what's really happening at the moment, large parts of India's border areas are now facing complete blackouts. Our reporters are there in each and every of these places. We are not identifying locations at the moment. Shivani is there. There is Amit Bhardwaj, who is in a particularly vulnerable place. But Amit, what are you hearing around you? When you spoke to us last, you said there was a total blackout. And there were preparations that were being made for a possible Pakistani attack as early as this afternoon.
Gingal,
yes,
where you have the very important establishment of NHPC, the power center. And what we realized through the day was that the heavy artillery and shelling that is happening in Uri sector. And remember, after 1998, the locals say that they had not seen this kind of artillery and, shelling happening in their villages. But it is happening, and it's not a coincidence that in Gingal, you have the NHPC's power project 2. And in Salamabad, again, you have the Salamabad Power Project 2. The dam is out there, and it's just not a coincidence that heavy artillery shelling that is happening in these areas of Uri sector right after the Operation Sindoor was in these areas where we had our establishments. And today what we are learning through our sources is that Kupwara is where the artillery and shelling is happening. It's massive. There's blackout in Baramulla as precautionary measure. There's complete blackout right now as we speak on the highway from Baramulla to Srinagar. I could literally see the security being ramped up like anything. When we went in the morning all through from Srinagar to Baramulla to Uri sectors, the interiors of Uri, there were normal deployments, but by the noon, we could actually see that the administration and the security forces were on their toes. The entire lanes were being cleared. You could see Jawans every few hundred meters, a distance of every few hundred meters. And as we speak right now in the Baramulla town, we have precautionary blackout as well as the developments from Kupwara is awaited, but we can definitely confirm to our viewers, ceasefire violation is happening from the Pakistani side.
Right. So across the Kashmir Valley now, we are hearing reports of total blackouts. Remember, the Srinagar airport also on high alert. Shivani Sharma, what are you picking up since we last spoke to you?
Rajdeep, what update we've got is that not only in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab, but also in Rajasthan, there is heavy shelling that continues. And when we talk of this heavy shelling, this is quite high than the last 2 days when the ceasefire violations were already on. And today this escalation is happening from Pakistan's side, to which Indian Army is responding appropriately, proportionately. And here also where we are reporting from, there's complete blackout right after when the air activity was witnessed in Jammu area. So what we are also learning is that all the drones that were fired upon the Jammu region have been neutralized successfully. But there is high alert in the complete Jammu and Kashmir region. The security is heightened. The alerts are on. The air defense systems have been activated, not only in Jammu area, but across the region, Rajdeep. And also on the western border in Rajasthan, there has been escalated artillery shell fire that is happening from Pakistan, to which Indian Army is retaliating, responding. There was drone activity also reported in Jaisalmer that was also thwarted by the air defense systems out there. So complete area, the western border remains activated on a high alert. The attempts from Pakistan are being thwarted one by one. And there is an uneasy calm across these places because people are worried. There's uncertainty, but they also have full faith in the armed forces that have been responding appropriately to all these actions that are coming from Pakistan.
Mir Farid, what is your report from there on the ground in Srinagar?
Well, Rajdeep, panic in Srinagar as well. And if you talk of Srinagar airport, which is hardly 3-4 kilometers from where I am right now, people around the Srinagar airport are evacuating. Some have been told, some are moving out to safety on their own, because there are reports that Srinagar airport is on high alert. Air defense batteries have been activated because intel suggests that there could be a swarm of drones that could be directed towards Srinagar airport. So as a precautionary measure, all these steps have been taken. And I can also tell you that electricity has been cut off in Srinagar. There is a complete blackout in Srinagar, and that is a precautionary measure that has been taken. In Gurez, army has fired on suspected drone movements. Similar news coming in from Gulmarg sector also. And then line of control across Tangdar, all the sectors of Kupara, Baramulla, right up to Rajouri, Jammu on the other side. They are hot, heavy artillery firing, we've been told, and Indian Army is retaliating in equal measure. So this is escalation at multiple levels. A direct attack in Jammu, drones, rockets being used, and this is no normal drone attack. There are n number of drones that have been sighted. They have been shot down in multiple sectors. So this is a massive drone attack, probably 100 to 200 drones as far as this attack is concerned. Rajdeep.
Pooja Shali, you have, as we've been saying, relatives and friends in Jammu. Are they all safe? Is there a sense that there is fear? What's the dominating emotion at the moment? Fear?
Very important point. First, 2 quick points here, Rajdeep. One, the administration officials in Jammu are telling me threats are being neutralized. Incredible work by the Indian Armed Forces. Casualties have not been reported for now. But I can and I must tell you something about people of Jammu. There is an understandable panic, but they're extremely brave, nationalistic people, and they are in fact telling me they'll stay put. They're not going anywhere. They're with the administration, with the armed forces. Of course, because it is the Jammu city, this has never happened. Imagine a residential populated area that we are talking about, close to the airport especially, which is watching projectiles in air. Of course, it is all being neutralized by the Indian air defense system. But there is an understandable, unprecedented situation. But they're extremely brave. They are going to stay put. That's what the sentiment I've received. But I can tell you on the ground, in Jammu, just look at how Pakistan has behaved, and I hope, Rajdeep, the world is watching this. Despite Pahalgam massacre, Indian armed forces targeted only the terror bases in Pakistan. But Pakistan, from the beginning, from Pahalgam, then to LOC, targeting civilians, then attempting to target civilians again in Jammu. So they are not differentiating at all, even though India is maintaining its civility in these sensitive times and looking at what war clouds are, Rajdeep. But clearly, people of Jammu putting up a brave front for now.